Boom. All right, so this is your. I didn't have a chance to make one, but we're just gonna go based off of this.
Well, there's also not that many characters in 2021 yet,
Yeah, because we're only a month in now.
but it's been a month, and January 2021 gave us a couple characters. I'll just do a quick talk through of it first. We've got Bernie holding down Chaotic Good. He was my Chaotic Good on my fucking 2020 primary candidates chart. He's Chaotic Good here. And he took the chaos of that not funny meme about him that was funny for a minute, but then all these fucking annoying people on Twitter just beat it into the ground. He ended up using that alongside some great people to raise a lot of money for, I think it was a food bank in Vermont, which is great. So that's great. We've got the QAnon shaman, who I actually, when I first saw the Capitol attack, I thought that was you. It's another guy, and if you read the interviews with and about him, he was a theater kid who insists on having or is it organic food?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
he insists on having organic food fed to him in prison, and he was like a failed actor and everything. And I realized this person can't be chaotic evil because he doesn't have principles, he doesn't have views, he just wanted to go in and fuck shit up. So
He
that's
is. He
just
is literally a Joker.
he's a joke. Oh my, he's exactly like a Joker, and I'm sure he does the dance that the Joker does when he's in the
Yep.
bathroom. He puts the clown makeup on, and now
Yeah, and
apparently he's going to testify against Trump, which is just so good. It's so
it's
good.
absolutely wild.
The theater kids are the easiest to radicalize. I'm fucking telling you. I was a theater kid in high school. I'm still a theater kid. We should not be allowed to own guns. Anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene is chaotic evil. I don't need to explain that. Marjorie
Yeah, I
Taylor Greene,
agree. I agree with that one.
the 9/11 conspiracy theorist, Parkland and Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist. She said
And
she's the
I
one,
mean, and obviously QAnon follower.
and Jewish space lasers advocate. Which
That too.
again, I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm saying she shouldn't say it. And then you have no idea what I was doing in Hebrew school, bro. I went to Hebrew school until I was like 13 years old. We talked lasers. We've got the Chad Nalvani at Neutral Good. You told what was his Rick and Morty connection?
Oh, so when Navalny was flying back to Moscow to be arrested, he and his wife were watching Rick and Morty on his
And his
laptop.
wife.
If it wasn't his wife, then I don't know who the fuck that was, but I thought it was his wife.
No, I believe
So
it. I'm just saying like,
yeah,
that's even cooler that he managed to
yeah.
marry someone who watches Rick and Morty. Yeah, Nalvani's a Chad. He fucking got poisoned by Putin for running against him, and then he went back to Russia to continue to run against him. And I was gonna put him at lawful good, but because 4,000 people got arrested today protesting against Putin for him,
Hmm.
I would say that that's not lawful. Although it's good, so neutral good. We've got Warren at lawful good. I put Warren at lawful good just because she's at least trying to crack down on the SEC after their Gamergate 2 bullshit, which is not what we call the GameStop thing, just to be clear. I have Romney at lawful neutral because he called out Marjorie Taylor Greene on her bullshit. I've got Robin Hood at lawful evil because they fucking suck and the law is going to end up saving all the bad guys. We've got Lincoln Project. Lincoln Project was going to be lawful evil, but then again, one of their founders broke the law by being a pedophile for years, and everybody knew it. So we put that at neutral evil.
Hmm.
Um, and then the true neutral, we've got our vaccine. That is just a fucking vaccine. But if you have any other suggestions for people who could fill potential spaces here in the
Yeah,
2020,
yeah. I'm thinking right now because I that bottom row is so solid. I wouldn't replace anyone with it. However, I feel like maybe we are giving MTG a little too much credit. A
just
little.
where would you put her?
Well, I would put Trump over her, to be honest with you.
I forgot about Trump, to be honest.
Yeah. And just because of his actions in the past month. But of course, now that he's no longer president, I mean, maybe MTG is sort of on the rise, and maybe is beats him out ever so slightly.
She's gonna be the new president. Like, people are saying this isn't the Republican Party. This is until they like really fully shit on her. She's totally like gonna rise up in the ranks.
Yeah.
I just don't see she wouldn't.
Yeah. Let's see. Where else? I actually would put I would put Wall Street Bets at chaotic good.
That's a good one. I should have done that.
And I would put Bernie. I would put Bernie at neutral good and Navalny at lawful good.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Bernie. I mean, Bernie's not going to be chaotic this year because he's just chairing the budget committee.
Yeah.
He's going to be just coming up and saying that we've got a new proposal in the budget committee.
We've got a new proposal, and I'm just going to tell you about it. It's about the top 10% of the top 1% of the top 69%.
Somebody said, Cameron, are you blind? Why? That's not... Is this about... What is this about? I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know what time... I don't know what the lag is on the stream, so I don't know what they're referencing. But
I don't know what they're referencing either. It's
Oreos... Okay. Oreos he, if you want to clarify.
No, I believe it's Oreos he.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did you just misgender? Did you just misgender Oreos?
Fuck! Man, god damn it! I deserve to get double stuffed.
Professor Pupper says Nancy Mace is for lawful good, but also Siraj's suggestion is good. So I put not Robin Hood. I put Wall Street Bets at lawful good. No, I'm sorry. I put Wall Street Bets at chaotic good. Move Bernie and Navalny one slot down. So Navalny at lawful good, Bernie at neutral good.
Wait, who's Nancy Mace again?
Nancy Mace is she's a Republican lawmaker, congresswoman from. Why am I blanking on the actual? I think she's from South Carolina. I think she's first congressional district. She took over for. She's in the seat that Mark Sanford used to be. Do you remember Mark Sanford? Were you too young to know why Mark Sanford is relevant?
Yeah, 100%. What state is this? South Carolina.
This is South Carolina. Do you know the story of Mark Sanford?
No, I don't. Wait.
Okay, this is great. This is where my age. This is where it's actually like an advantage of being older because I could tell you about the story of Mark Sanford. So Mark Sanford, he was the governor of South Carolina. Okay, he was the fucking governor, Republican. Guy disappears. This is like 2007, 2008. Guy disappears for like 4 days. Nobody knows where the fuck he is. Okay, his aides can't contact him. They don't know where he is. He comes back and says he actually was hiking on the Appalachian Trail. Days later, it's found out that he actually flew to Argentina to spend like the past week with his mistress. Guy's married and has kids, okay? So this is all unfolding in the national media. But those 4 days were like, where the fuck is Mark Sanford? Everyone thought like, he like disappeared like off the face of the earth. He like either got kidnapped or something like that. I mean, he's a governor of South Carolina. It wasn't like he was doing anything crazy. So when that whole story unfolded, the guy resigned in disgrace from governor. I think he tried to patch things up with his wife, and I think they ultimately separated and got a divorce. And then to make matters worse, he went from being governor of an entire state to running for Congress of the 1st Congressional District, which honestly, if you think about it, there's no bigger demotion, I feel like, from not just losing and going into private life and like going to the private sector and making tons of millions of dollars. He decided he was just going to stay a public official and be in Congress, where he was completely irrelevant and still making a congressional salary. And I think he was running in the he got beat in the 2018 midterm election. I think in the primary actually to another Republican, and the whole seat flipped to being blue. It was a red district like through and through, and that flipped. And then it flipped back, and Nancy Mace is the Republican currently sitting there. The reason why she's relevant is because she was one of the few people in the GOP who were actually trying to hold Trump accountable, and she obviously like lost the plot with basically the entire Trump base. So that's sort of why.
She's fucked because
Yeah.
Type Chiavelli said,
Type
I'm running.
Machiavelli. I'm running for Nancy Mace's spot. She's going to be a one-termer. Absolutely. I think she's going to be a one-termer for sure. It's bound to happen.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm surprised I didn't hear about that. Like,
Yeah.
that's a fascinating one. It's nice to see states that aren't Florida have fucking psychos in them.
Yeah. Captain Cavalier says he didn't resign, and Charlie Crist currently did that.
What do you mean currently did that?
Charlie Crist is he was the governor of Florida. He lost to he lost to Rick Scott, and then he ran for Congress, and he's currently sitting as a member of the House.
I didn't know that he ran for Congress.
Exactly. That is a bigger demotion in my view in politics. There's nothing worse, I feel like, from going from like a governor of a state, where basically the next step is if you don't run for Senate, you're running for the president. And
yeah, it's
to then run for the House, that's like getting mushroom stamped.
Honestly, though, like, good for him because he doesn't have to take any COVID blame for shit. You know, like if he being a governor right now, I mean, fucking, I personally think DeSantis is, fucking garbage, and he's literally beholden to a lot of special interests in a lot of very, very obvious ways. But being a governor right now, you're just in the firing zone. Like. I mean, it's what's funny? I'll comment on like a lot of conservative pages about how I think DeSantis is terrible. DeSantis is terrible, and people are like, "Oh yeah, well, what about Cuomo? What about Cuomo?" I'm like, "Cuomo's terrible too."
Yeah.
Fucking, of course he's terrible. Like I'm embarrassed of Cuomo just as much, even more. Well, okay, look, I'd like to think that I'm a Cuomo hipster because I was talking about how Cuomo sucks long before a lot of other libs were talking about how Cuomo sucks. I was like okay with him for about 20 minutes of the beginning of the pandemic, but I was like, wait a second. People are just happy that he's not Trump, and people are just happy that there's some TV who's saying that COVID is real. But man, boy, does he fucking blow. He's worse than de Blasio now.
Yeah, I actually never thought that would happen, that I would actually hate someone more than de Blasio from the state of New York. It's crazy. I actually was going to say, I would actually replace Robin Hood at Lawful Evil with Cuomo.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, here's the thing about Robin Hood, is because I don't know if they knew I feel like they got pressured into doing what they did with stopping trading with GameStop and AMC and all the other hot stocks that were picked by Reddit. I really do. And I feel like there's more to it. But I think it's a safe bet to say that Andrew Cuomo basically hides behind sort of the glitz and glamour of being fawned over by the Hollywood elite, that he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. Cuomo-sexuals, exactly. We're Cuomo-sexuals.
I personally want to get Eiffel Towered by him and Dr. Fauci. But no,
where would you put Fauci? Because I feel like right now I actually might put him at lawful neutral.
I don't care about Fauci. Fauci's fine. He says a lot of great things. He says a lot of things that are great. He says, I mean, I don't know.
He's fucked up along the way too. I mean, he's certainly had his mistakes, but I feel like Fauci. Oh, Type Machiavelli says Fauci is lawful evil. Professor Popper says Fauci is true neutral. I'd say he is.
I'd say Fauci's true neutral. The way that
true neutral is probably a good spot. But because he has fucked up along the way, but there are times where he was like, even if it makes, like, he's tried to do, I think, things that he thought were right at the time, which ended up turning out to be wrong. But I think where we get tripped up is that there's the constant fawning over Fauci by many people on the left that this guy could do no wrong, And obviously there are times where he does fuck up. Obviously, like masks in the beginning told us not to wear masks. This whole concept of what am I thinking of? This is the not the vaccine rollout. I mean, he did correct CNN's false report in the beginning of the Biden administration, saying we always had a plan. There wasn't like no plan to distribute the vaccines. It was Operation Warp Speed.
Well, you also have to like consider how Trump's administration deliberately left Biden out of shit just because they're mad.
Oh yeah, but that's why I put him at chaotic evil.
Yeah, exactly. Like they kneecapped all of the what's it called, vaccine distribution.
Yeah.
Which again which is how like states that are doing it really fucking poorly get to just say, oh, it's Trump, because it is Trump, but it's also your fucking awful mismanagement. But now you've got Cuomo like putting out these laws that literally make no sense. Like he's saying, oh, we should have restaurants are going to be open at 25%. But for Valentine's, you can do indoor dining for 25% for Valentine's Day. And I'm willing to bet one of his buddies called him and he was like, "Hey, Cuomo, I gotta sell my spaghetti on Valentine's Day." And then Cuomo was like, "Hey, but we can't do that. We can't open up the restaurants. People are gonna get COVID. There's fucking 20 new strains in New York. Like we have literally the biggest smorgasbord sampler of different COVID strains from around the world in New York. Like if you want to get the Brazilian strain, you want to get the UK one, come to New York. We'll give you fucking all of them." So Cuomo gets on the phone with the meatball guy. The meatball guy's like, "Hey, I'm Cuomo. We gotta so." Like, what the fuck is 25% indoor dining going to do for the economy? What's it going to do for people in the city? He's doing it because we got to have Valentine's Day. We got to have a meatball.
Hey, we gotta have. Hey, get the fuck out of here with your Valentine's Day bullshit.
But then he's saying also that we should be able to have weddings with 150 or less people in March. You can have weddings with 150 or less people. Just open up the fucking state. And I'm not saying open up the fucking state. I'm not saying open up the fucking state. Because we got a fuck ton of new COVIDs coming in. Fresh new fucking COVID. But,
yeah.
Hey,
Cuomo, hey, Cuomo, get off your fucking ass.
Hey, it's like, what is Cuomo gonna do? He's gotta let his buddy sell his meatball.
Yeah. Professor Pupper gives you 11 out of 10 for your Cuomo impression. I feel like that's almost every New Yorker, though. But actually, you actually did a pretty good Cuomo impression. I'll give you that. Katie Robot says, Siraj, did you just magically change water bottles? No, I tossed one out behind me, and I got a new one right there. New York, says Mike.
Somebody said it's because his daughter's getting married. I don't
Literal
know if that's
Italiaphobia. I wouldn't be surprised if it was because of his daughter's wedding. But also, but Cam, and I hope you recognize this, is that as soon as Biden came into office, basically every single state that was controlled by Democrats wanted to start opening up. Like
100%.
there's definitely a political like motivation behind it to make Biden look good, and you just kind of have to start to think to yourself that was basically always the plan, is that they were going to make life miserable for everyone to advance their political agenda in 2020, i.e. beating Trump. Whether the I'm obviously not dismissing that coronavirus was bad, definitely was, but there definitely were political moves done by many members. I would say mostly on the Democratic Party. I think some of the Republicans probably caved to the whims of Democrats in their state by shutting down everything and just making people's lives miserable so that they would vote Trump out of office. That's my honest to God gut feeling, how I feel about it. But I think a lot of Americans feel like that too.
I have a similar feeling, but to the opposite degree. I think that I'm reversing the timeline. In my opinion, I think that they're opening everything up because they
want to make Biden look good.
They want to liven up the economy for Biden coming back, and they want to. But I don't think that. I mean, obviously, COVID is what got us to knock out Trump. Like, if it weren't for COVID, Trump would have won.
Oh, for sure. I absolutely believe that.
So it's like, you know, that was obviously the only way that we were going to be able to pull it in 2020 was
Yeah.
COVID happened, and I'm surprised that Trump didn't lose all of his chances significantly earlier. Like the fact that he got that many votes shocks me, and he got more votes than he did in fucking 2016, and
Yeah.
that's what I always say to people who are arguing about like, oh, the Lincoln Project did a lot of work. Literally, more Republicans voted than ever before. Trump got more Republican support than he got more votes than any fucking Republican ever.
Yeah.
Like he
He
fucking
expanded his base immensely.
happens to
Um,
be that it was so shitty that more people than anyone in history were like, okay, Biden. Um, so I don't think that there was this concentrated effort like make everybody's lives worse while Trump is president, make everybody's lives worse while Trump is president. I think it's just, oh, Biden's president now, let's open up because everything's gonna be fine. Meanwhile, it's fucking not, and it's just as bad, if not worse.
I can't. I would just implore you to take one step further back, and you would see the big picture. That a lot of the things that were done during the COVID outbreak in 2020 was that it was largely done for political reasons, and it was largely done to make people's lives miserable. That's, I mean, it without knowing a lot about the virus. So, look, I get it. Hindsight is 2020. Pardon the pun. But when we look at how sort of the immediate reaction was focusing on anti-Asian discrimination and like the whole thing about Trump shutting down travel from China is xenophobic. Like, come on, it's a lot of the stuff that they do is really
Well,
just to
I don't
try
know
to
how much.
score political points.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of political points, but I think it's also I think that you're overestimating how intelligent a lot of the people in office are, specifically a lot of the Democrats who are involved with this. I think a lot of it truly was fucking stupidity. I think a lot of this was a lot of it was obviously political points, and you could see very early on where there were operators
Hmm.
saying, "Okay, here's where we can secure wins right now against Trump using this." But I think that there was a lot more short-sightedness than you might be giving them credit for. I mean, obviously, Tulsi was talking about the virus in fucking what was it, November? Tulsi was the
Yeah,
first person to talk about the
yeah.
virus. She
Tulsi,
was,
Tulsi. Well, Tulsi's always gone against the grain. So
yeah.